What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of Big Dog Movie Reviews. As always, I'm your host, Big Dog, and as a theme with this lately, I have to apologize for something. I do have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little nasally, and there may be some coughing in this video, but nothing can stop the YouTube grind, so just bear with me. So today we're discussing the movie Midway, which is fresh in theaters. Same format as always. Likes, dislikes, final score, final verdict, final comments. She's a big fan of this. I do this for Miranda. Alright, I don't need that yet. Likes. Action was very well done. Very spot on. That you could tell that it was just a huge priority for the people making the film to make sure that they really wanted to make you feel like you were there at the combat scenes, and I think they did a really good job. I felt like I was right in the plane with the pilots. It was superbly done. I like how they gave a perspective of both the front lines fighters and the intelligence officers. It was kind of cool to see the intelligence officers right behind the scenes, and like just some people who were a huge part in the Battle of Midway and World War II in general, who never saw the front lines of combat. I thought that was kind of a really interesting perspective. And it just kind of proved that their job's just as hard as the front lines fighters, with how particular and how close they have to be, the kind of stuff they have to decode. It was just a really interesting perspective that I really enjoyed. Story was very interesting, of course. War movies are kind of one of my favorites, and so I was pretty easily engaged into this film. Acting was pretty well done for the most part. We'll touch on the least part later, but definitely for the most part, acting was very well done. I really liked how they did the aerial camera work with the planes, and pretty much everything about the planes was really well done. Both the look of the planes, the aerial combat sequences were very thought of. The way they captured those aerial combat sequences through the camera work was super engaging, super well done, and it was just such a superb job across the board when it came to all the combat, the action as well. And then as well, there's even a bit of movie that takes place in a submarine that's trying to take out some boats of the Japanese Navy, which I thought was just a really cool glimpse. Just a glimpse. It's not a lot, but a glimpse into some non-aerial combat that took place during the Battle of Midway. I thought it was a really cool scene. It just like followed some submarine fighters. They were launching torpedoes for a little bit, and I just thought it was a really cool glimpse. And much like with the planes, the way they did everything within the submarine, how they captured it, the camera work, the lines of dialogue, the acting was all super well done. And I felt like again with the planes, I felt like I was right in the submarine with the crew. So it did a really good job of making you feel engaged and involved in the film. Sorry. And this feels like a given with a based on a true story film, but it gave a what happened after account for all the real life people. In the sense that it's obviously the movie Midway is based on the real Battle of Midway, which took place during World War II. And Dick Best, who was the main character, who played by Ed Skrein, he was the main character. For instance, at the end it said he retired after the war. He was one of the most decorated pilots in U.S. Air Force history, which I really like, or Navy, which I really like because it may seem like a given with a based on a true story movie, but I've seen a handful of films that are based on a true story that don't do that at all, and I always find that really upsetting, because you guys know me, I like my based on true story films to be as accurate to the real life event as possible. So, and they'd even said that in the film that it was based on factual tellings of Midway. I wouldn't be surprised if there were still some embellishments in there due to Hollywood's creative freedom, but I can't imagine it would be much. I haven't had a chance to look into the full story yet, but as far as I'm concerned, it seemed pretty close to the real thing, and it seemed like they tried to convey that it was it was as accurate as they felt they could make it, which I thought was just a nice touch, because for someone who's a semi-history buff like me, excuse me, it's just nice to know that they tried to keep it as close to the real events as possible. And now dislikes. Ed Skrein, like I said, who played Dick Best. He didn't do the best job in some scenes in terms of acting. Seemed like he was not really overacting, but it was like almost an impersonation, not an acting job of. I mean, I obviously don't know Dick Best, but it's his like New York accent and his like lines and his line delivery seemed a little like theater-esque, like he was maybe trying to do a little overboard. But other than that, there's only in a few scenes too. Once the movie got on, he was a lot more believable. So that's it for the dislikes. So pretty damn good movie. Best movie I have seen in months, and best movie yet here on Big Dog Movie Reviews with a solid 9 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Everyone I watched it with said it was fantastic. So definitely go see this. Like I said, best movie I've seen in months. Highly recommend you go see it. And if you don't have time while it's in theaters, make time, because you will honestly be missing something great with this film. I thought, like I said, best movie I've seen in months. I just can't get it. I'm still kind of amazed at how good this movie was. Just so superbly done across the board for the most part. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing it like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 times. That's how good it was. Like I would put it on par with Endgame, and I saw that 4 times. So this I feel like I could easily, maybe even see more, because the action sequences are just so well done. I can't stress that enough, how superbly done the action sequences and this film as a whole was done. So definitely highly recommend you see this. Make time to see it before it leaves theaters. Otherwise you'll be kicking yourself later for missing it. But that's review. It's going in the books. It's going in the book, singular. I only have one. But as always, if you like what you see, do please like, comment, and subscribe. I do movie reviews of both mostly current movies, but the occasional Netflix watch as well. I try to keep the content flowing as steadily as I can. If you're a fan of movies, you love movies, you eat, sleep, and breathe them, kind of like I do, definitely hit that subscribe button. I think you'll like the content I push out. As far as comments go, if you've seen Midway, let me know in the comments what you thought. If you agree with me, if you disagree, if you thought it was better, if you thought it was worse, try and convince me otherwise. I welcome all challengers. So tell your friends about the channel, anyone else who's a big movie person, tell them about the channel. I think they're just like the content I put out. But if you want to get more involved with the channel, do follow the corresponding Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd videos. Follow me at BigDogMR79 for all 3 of those. I'll put it on the screen as always at the end of the video. I post when a new video comes out for the most part on those accounts. But if things pick up here at Big Dog Movie Reviews, I might do a little more stuff every so often with those. Who knows? But that's really it. I'll see you next time for the next movie review. But until then, change the world. One person can't change the world for the better. No matter what you think, I'll support you in your efforts to change the world for the better. If no one else will, you can do it. I believe in you. But until then, I'll see you later.